The Great Pyramid of Giza. For nearly thousands of years, we've been told a simple story. Pharaoh Khufu built this colossal monument as his tomb, constructed by thousands of workers in just a few short years, armed with nothing but primitive copper chisels, ropes, and, well, sheer determination. As you can see, we're just leaving a lot of metal and very little stone is plagued. But here's the problem. Practically everything you've ever learned about the pyramids isn't based on solid facts. It's based on educated guesses at best. So what if the real story isn't just incomplete, but deliberately hidden? At the heart of this mystery stands one man, Dr. Zahi Hawass, Egypt's most powerful archaeologist. For decades, Hawass alone has controlled every excavation, every discovery, and every ancient secret buried beneath Egypt's sands. I'm talking about the gate that has been closed. Why have you opened the theory again? Dr. Zahi Hawass. The gate is not closed, it is closed. No, it's not. It's not closed, sir. Okay, I closed it. And I am going to close it. I am presenting my own. Okay, I will do this. Even before a word is exchanged, one image and Mr. Hawass leaves. But here's where it gets strange. Rather than welcoming fresh ideas and discoveries, Hawass is infamous for blocking independent research and silencing alternative theories, especially ones that threaten the official narrative he's worked so hard to uphold. Because, honestly, most of the information that's written on pyramids is wrong. Most of it in archaeology books. Really? Except me. Now, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but why exactly has Hawass fought so fiercely to stop certain explorations? Why shut down research at the very moment groundbreaking discoveries are made? Discoveries that might rewrite human history itself. Is he protecting Egypt's heritage, or is he protecting something else entirely? If you've ever wondered whether there's more to the pyramids than meets the eye, trust me, you'll want to keep watching because tonight we're diving deep into evidence that's baffled scientists, frustrated archaeologists, and left historians speechless. From hidden chambers sealed for thousands of years to precision stonework that's difficult to replicate even today, the reality behind this monument is far stranger and far older than mainstream Egyptology admits. Could the Great Pyramid really have been built using basic hand tools, ropes and wooden rollers, as historians claim? Or was it constructed with ancient technology we've yet to comprehend? And if so, who exactly built it, and why? Tonight we'll peel back the layers of secrecy, confront the gatekeepers of history, and reveal evidence hidden in plain sight. Because, sometimes history's greatest secrets aren't lost. They're simply buried by those who prefer that you never ask questions. The answers you're about to discover might just change. When most of us think about ancient Egypt, we picture golden tombs, intricate hieroglyphs, and the iconic Great Pyramid of Giza rising out of the desert sands. For years, we've been told this incredible monument was built around 4,500 years ago by Pharaoh Khufu, intended as a grand tomb constructed by thousands of workers armed with little more than basic hand tools. On the surface, this seems like an impressive example of ancient human achievement. But here's the thing, the closer you look, the less convincing this explanation actually becomes. Surprisingly, there's very little solid evidence backing this popular version of history, and it turns out many of our assumptions might be built on shaky ground. Could it be that we've misunderstood who really built the Great Pyramid and how they managed such an astonishing accomplishment? Consider this surprising fact. Even though the Great Pyramid is incredibly important historically, there aren't any clear inscriptions from Khufu's era explicitly stating that he built it. Ancient Egyptians carefully recorded almost every aspect of their lives, from ordinary daily activities to elaborate religious rituals and significant royal events. Yet strangely, they didn't leave behind any clear documentation about constructing their most remarkable monument. Archaeologists sometimes reference faint marks and symbols discovered deep within hidden chambers, but these were found hundreds of years after the pyramid was first explored, raising serious doubts about their authenticity. After all, just because someone's name appears on a structure doesn't necessarily mean they're the ones who built it. One of the most puzzling inconsistencies of all involves the very purpose of the Great Pyramid itself. Mainstream Egyptology consistently maintains that the pyramid was built as Pharaoh Khufu's elaborate tomb. Yet, unlike every other known royal Egyptian tomb, the Great Pyramid contains no inscriptions glorifying Khufu, no decorative artifacts, no precious grave goods, and crucially, no trace of Khufu's remains. If the pyramid was indeed constructed as a royal burial place, we would expect extensive evidence like treasures, funerary artifacts, and inscriptions typical of royal tombs, but none of these have ever been discovered within the Great Pyramid. This striking absence raises a significant question. Could the pyramid's true purpose have been something entirely different, perhaps more sophisticated or functional than historians have traditionally assumed? An even greater mystery is the astonishing precision and complexity of the pyramid itself. Modern architects and engineers still marvel at how accurately the Great Pyramid aligns with true north, precise to fractions of a single degree. Inside the pyramid, huge granite blocks weighing up to tons each show evidence of advanced machining and precise drilling techniques that seem far beyond what historians assume ancient Egyptians could achieve with simple copper tools. Engineer Christopher Dunn carefully studied these granite stones, noting perfectly round drill cores and remarkably precise cuts, features extremely difficult, if not impossible, to replicate using primitive methods. Recent attempts by modern researchers to duplicate these cuts with copper chisels have failed dramatically. Their tools quickly became unusable and they made minimal progress even after days of continuous effort. This raises an important question. If even today's technology struggles with these tasks, how did ancient Egyptians achieve such precision thousands of years ago? Now Dennis, will we see any progress in our lifetime? Yes. If you came back in an hour's time, you would see about a millimeter drop down into the dome. An equally puzzling detail comes from inside the pyramid's intricate network of passageways and chambers. To construct such complicated internal structures, workers would have needed reliable sources of light to see clearly and navigate safely. Traditionally, historians suggest torches or oil lamps provided this lighting, yet astonishingly, examinations of these chambers and tunnels show no traces of soot, smoke residue, or scorch marks anywhere on the ceilings or walls, something that would be unavoidable if traditional lighting methods were used. This surprising absence challenges the conventional explanation and raises fascinating questions. Could the pyramid builders have had access to some form of advanced lighting technology? Or does this hint at a completely different method of construction altogether? These discoveries suggest an intriguing possibility. The original pyramid builders may have possessed knowledge or technology much more advanced than what mainstream historians currently recognize. Yet, instead of openly considering these ideas, mainstream archaeology, particularly under Dr. Zahi Hawass, has strongly defended the established historical narrative. So, independent researchers like Robert Bauval, who proposed the Orion correlation theory, suggesting that the pyramids align exactly with Orion's belt as it appeared thousands of years before Khufu, have actually faced significant resistance. Similarly, researchers like Robert Schoch and John Anthony West have found some pretty intriguing geological evidence of extensive water erosion around the Great Sphinx. In fact, John Anthony West clearly showed that the unusual weathering patterns at the Sphinx's base were actually caused by heavy rainfall and flowing water, not wind or sand erosion like most Egyptologists typically suggest. The Sphinx and its surrounding pit, well, they're actually worn differently. These show a different kind of erosion altogether, a round undulating profile, usually caused by rainwater and torrential downpours. Here's the mystery. The last time there was enough rainfall in the Sahara Desert to cause this level of water erosion was over 10,000 years ago, right at the end of the last ice age. Even if the repairs were done because of water damage, a major question is still unanswered. So, when was there water in the desert? Well, the answer is actually pretty surprising. It was at the end of the last ice age about, thousands of years ago. This fascinating timeline hints that the Sphinx might actually have been built by a much older civilization, long before ancient Egypt as we know it even existed. West developed his theory. I think the history of the Sphinx goes something like this. Long ago, before Egypt became desert, the Giza Plateau was a fertile savanna. At its very edge was a large outcrop of natural rock. An unknown group of sculptors, taking advantage of its prominent position, carved the rock into a giant face. May have been the face of a god, or of the lion.